that was about kidnapped. I said, what is meaning of kidnap means? A person is taken away by force or to steal a person. Here we are seeing the kidnapped means being taken away forcefully and kept in a secret place. Already I have explained to you about the story. In that what I have explained to you, in that main character is the Rahul. So he loves to read the books and he enjoys the reading the books. So one day while he was reading with interest, with love, so when he heard his father's voice without the light, again he covered the blanket and put on the torchlight and he was reading. Suddenly, two people entered his room to kidnap that boy. But Rahul's father is businessman. They were living on Pali Hill. So Rahul is only 10 years old boy. His father is a businessman. So they were living on a Pali Hill. So one day while he was reading the book, his father made a voice. When he heard father's voice, immediately he put off the light and again he started to read the book by covering the bed sheet with the torchlight. So suddenly two members entered his room. They like a kidnappers. They are like a kidnappers. So when they wanted to kidnap him, the boy said, I am happy to come to you, but don't keep me in the sack. I have a desire to adventure. Means I have a desire to travel like that way, he said to them. So they took him one place, they and kept tied his hands and kept him one place. The Rahul. Ransom means a certain amount of money to release the kidnapped person. So ransom is people have to pay money to the kidnappers and bring the person who the kidnappers are kidnapped. So these are the new meanings. So the students take the textbook page number 53, third paragraph. Perfect, thought Rahul. Then he heard the distant cry of a wolf. Yes, he said excitedly. Things could not get better. This sort of thing always happened in the books and movies he saw. But they were getting worse for Laurel and Hardy. Something is wrong here. They suspected kids don't want to get kidnapped. They did not feel in charge. They were right. So Rahul was perfectly thinking that he was heard the distance. He could hear the sound of wolf. It was making such a noise. Then this could not get better. Things could not get better. But this sort of thing always happened in the books also. We can see these stories and all in the books and the movies I have seen, the boys saw. But where they are getting worse for. So the kidnappers, Laurel and Hardy, the kidnappers were fed up about this boy. Because the boy is asking such a questions without fear. He was very courageous. So they suspected kids don't want to get kidnapped. So they were telling the kidnappers, you should not suggest the kidnappers to kidnap the people. You should be courageous like that way. The kidnappers are talking to that boy. But they did not feel in charge. They were right. So they were feeling about this boy. Why this boy told us to kidnap like that way? Hey, you fat one, Hardy, come here. Go find some wood and make a comfy. Laura, we go pitch a tent. I am sure you will find one of the cottage. We come here during our vacation. Lauren and Hardy looked at each other. Lauren said, stop calling us Lauren and Hardy. Do not think we are cartoon characters. Take this seriously. We will kill you if you don't listen to me. I will just walk back home and tell my father that you kidnapped me, replied Rahul, not is the least frightened. So the boy, Rahul, was very courageous, but he is not frightened of that people, kidnappers. So they were telling. So kidnappers' name was Laurel and Hardy. One is fat man, one is the thin one. So they were telling that during some vacation we come here and enjoy here near the lake and we will enjoy our life here like that. The kidnappers were telling. Laurel said, stop calling us Laurel and Hardy. Do you think we are cartoon characters? We are different characters. Why you are calling by name? They are making the boy to get frightened. So the boy, then they are making the boy to get frightened that they are going to kill him. But the boy is very courageous. But he is not listening to them. He was very free and he was very courageous, not even getting frightened. Then he said, the way they are making the boy to get frightened, and he said, I will tell to my parents, my father, that you kidnapped me. Replied Rahul, not is the least. So the boy is not at all getting frightened. There is no fear in that boy. So he was very courageous. The two men decided to cooperate. They were looking for some ransom money, and if they lost the kid, they were not going to get rich. So Rahul sat and threw pebbles into the lake as the tent was being pinched. So this kidnappers want to get money from the Rahul's parent. So if they leave him simply, they may not get and they may not enjoy things to buy. There is no money for them. That way they will take it. The Rahul what did he sat and threw some pebbles, some of different kinds of stones he was throwing to the lake, and tent was being pinched. So the tent started to fall. This kind is annoying. Why haven't you his parents complained to the police yet? The kidnappers wonder as they paced up and down under the sun the next afternoon. So here they are very fed off about this boy, Rahul. The kidnappers were, the boy, Rahul was very irritating the kidnappers. They are getting angered the way the boy is doing without fear. So they are thinking, the kidnappers, why till now the parents did not complain to the police? So the kidnappers were wonder as they paced and down the sun next afternoon. Breakfast was not easy to arrange for a kid who thought he was a king. The only question going through their minds after that was, what would he went for lunch? So they are very fed up about this boy regarding food, and the boy is very irritating them. They are not at all happy, but still they want money from his parents. But for Rahul, the day was just better than any other day. He was quite delighted that he was to miss food. The thin one went into town to check whether there was any news item about the missing rich boy. No news, neither in the newspaper nor TV. This is getting very dangerous, they thought. How much more could they tolerate this kid? Let's call his father and ask for some ransom money at least. So the Rahul was just better than any other day. So the boy everybody is becoming very courageous, and he was irritating them in such a way. So because he feels that bad that he is missing the school and classes. So the thin kidnapper went to the city to find out whether they are inquiring about this boy or not. There is no news in the TV or on the newspaper. Nothing is there. So, but these kidnappers want to get money from his parents. So they decided to call his father and get some money and give the child to the parent. So the kidnappers kidnappers decided like that. They called the Bajaj residence, means Rahul's father. Mr. Bajaj answered the call himself. We have your son. If you want him back, arrange for 1 crore rupee immediately, said Hardy, trying to sound very dangerous. Oh, you have my son, do you? I wonder where he went out. Thought he was spending the night in the friend's place. Ransom. 1 crore. Let's see. Is Rahul enjoying the kidnapping, son? He's always hoped something like this would happen to him. You know, how much are you willing to give me to take him back? Rahul will not want to come back. Best of luck. Let me know when the money is ready. And the phone went dead. Mr. Bajaj knew his son would look after himself, but he hurriedly picked up the receiver again and called the police. What do you think? Have kidnapped to Rahul. Simple. The kidnappers tied to him up in the sack and dropped off a bundle at the doorsteps of his residence. They gave a sigh of relief. So here they called one of the kidnapper called Rahul's father, Mr. Bajaj, and said, your son is with us. We kidnapped your child, but we need money to give you back your child because we need 1 crore. So arrange the money. So father is asking the queen, is it there? Is it really like that way? Father is telling. So when money is keep ready for us, then we will give your child like that way. They were telling. So immediately, his father immediately he called the police and complained about these kidnappers. So the kidnappers, what they have done before kidnapping the child, after kidnapping the child, they put some things near the doorstep and went away. So the parents are not worried about the child because the boy they know about the child. He is very courageous, he is very intelligent, he can save himself like that way. Parents are thinking. So dear students, this story is very inspirational. So when unknown people gives the chocolates or anything to you, please don't take. Kindly not take. You can't believe anyone. So they give the chocolates sometimes and they will kidnap us. But at present situation is very dangerous. You should be very clever to understand. When you see unknown people, when they call them, don't go near to them. When they say something, don't listen to them. When they give something, unknown people don't take. So, respect your parents, and what your parents are saying is good for yourself. So, learn to be courageous in your life, like a Rahul, who is only 10 years old boy, but how he was loves to read the books. As a child, as a student, you should have interest and love to read the books. You should gain knowledge. So the books while reading inspires you, makes you courage, and removes fear from you. So these are the good qualities you will get from the textbooks. Not only textbooks, but storybooks or anything. So please kindly cultivate this virtue in your life to read the books, to love the books, and listen to parents. Be courageous in your life.
Kidnapped. Rahul was a 10-year-old boy who loved reading thrillers. His father's voice came booming from the ground floor of the house, whether the light is on in his room. Rahul quickly switched off the light. He continued to read with the torchlight under his bedsheet. The window opened slowly from the outside and a pair of thin, long legs stepped into the room. Within a minute, there was another pair of legs. This one was short and fat. Rahul switched off the torchlight and held his breath. He had a feeling that something was about to happen to him. He waited. They were moving slowly towards him with a sack in hand. Rahul whispered that he will just go along with them quietly as he was interested in adventure. He will make it easy for them. When Rahul came to know that his kidnappers had no plan, he suggested them a cottage by the lake about 100 kilometers from the house where they could take him. It took them 2 hours to reach the cottage. They suspected that something was wrong. Kids don't volunteer to get kidnapped. They did not feel in charge. They were right. Rahul asked Hardy to find some wood and make a campfire, and to Laurel, he asked him to pitch a tent. One of the kidnappers asked Rahul to stop calling them Laurel and Hardy. Rahul replied that if they don't listen to him, he will just walk back home and tell his father that they kidnapped him. The two men decided to cooperate. The kidnappers found the kid annoying. They wondered as to why haven't his parents complained to the police yet. But for Rahul, the day was just better than any other day. He was quite delighted that he was to miss school. The thin one went into town to check whether there was any news item about the missing rich boy. No news, neither in the newspaper nor on TV. They called up Mr. Bajaj. Hardy told him that they had their son and to arrange for 1 crore rupees immediately if he wanted him back. Mr. Bajaj asked him whether Rahul was enjoying the kidnapping because he always hoped something like that would happen to him. Mr. Bajaj knew his son would look after himself, but he hurriedly picked up the receiver again to call the police. The kidnappers tied him up in a sack and dropped off the bundle at the doorstep of his residence.